Welcome to the WorkHARDAholics Show with your host, the original WorkHARDaholic, Shirley Crawford, author, speaker, and small business consultant for over 20 years, helping you to work hard, play harder, and business better. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of WorkHARDaholics. I am Shirley Crawford, your host, and it is my pleasure to be with you today. We like to come to you with Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or in the replay to help you as a WorkHARDaholic live better, do better, and be better as a happy entrepreneur. All right, so here's the deal. When we talk about a WorkHARDaholic, that's someone who is always doing something. We don't rest on our laurels. We don't wait for the world to take it to us. We take it to the world. But here's the thing, as a WorkHARDaholic, sometimes our balance is a little off kilter. We might have too much going on and we forget to take care of us. So if that's you, if you're still thinking, I know it's New Year's Eve on Saturday, but I still might want to go into the office for a little while, you probably belong here. So welcome, and welcome again. So here's the deal. First and foremost, thank you all for those of you who heard my plea for more subscribers to our YouTube channel, right? So we've done a great job on TikTok. We've, got a few subscribers on Instagram, but we had not been focusing on YouTube, and we love YouTube. So that's what we're focusing on. When I initially asked you all to come on over and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that we can make sure that YouTube is posting our information and sharing all this wealth of free information with the community, you all have come on board and helped. We're still looking for more, but we went from 16, which is so low, I'm almost embarrassed to say it out loud. But we had 16 subscribers on YouTube 2 weeks ago, I think it's when I started asking. And today we have 48. So, okay, we want to hurry up and get to the 100. But then, of course, we're trying to get to 1,000, and then 10,000, and 50,000, and 100,000, and world domination. No. World, what would be a better word for that? It's not domination, really. World infiltration. That still has a negative connotation. Worldwide acknowledgement. We want to take this message to the world, to infinity and beyond. Me and Buzz Lightyear. We got a thing going on with that one. All right. So also with that in mind, it's a new year, right? Or it will be on Friday at midnight or Saturday. We're looking into a whole new year of 2022. And so as we're preparing to do that, I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Let's see. Kujichagulia was yesterday. Ujamaa, I believe it's today. Working and operating as a collective. And so that's what we're about. Not collective empowerment, but just recognition of who we are and our identity as a collective. So yes, most definitely. Habari gani, people. You respond, Ujamaa. All right. So all that in mind, but also, we've had so much happening that I really want to make sure that you all have some tools and resources so that pandemic, Omicron, whatever else is happening, that you still have tools that'll help you to be further along than you were today. Much further along than you were yesterday. I don't want the you in 2022 to look anything like the you of you in 2021 or even 2020. So we want to make sure that with our new segment, Business Better, that we're giving you tools and information that you can utilize to get more skills, more resources, more connections, to make sure that you as a leader, you as a community impactor, you as an entrepreneur are successful, that you have the right foundation. So, just a reminder, we talked about last week about the fact that if you got an idle loan, if you got idle money, the L stands for loan, so you don't say loan twice. If you got idle money, potentially if you got PPP money, you may be required to do an audit. And so if you're a nonprofit, that means nothing to you. We do audits all the time, annually. If you are a standard corporation, LLC, whatever the case may be, you probably have no idea what's involved, and an audit sounds ominous. Oh my God, it's not that deep. It requires that you have good bookkeeping, but the bottom line is, if you want to know if that's you, if you want to know if you need to do an audit, then you need to sit down with your CPA. But more than likely, if you got idle money, you probably do have to do it. But I am not your CPA. I am only here to make sure you have a heads up. Be aware that if you need it, sit down with your CPA. As I mentioned last week, when it comes to audits, they range from basically $750 to thousands of dollars. They're normally done by CPA firms. So if you already have a CPA, you can check to see if they do audits. Generally speaking, I always expect to pay at least $1,000 for a decent audit. And they'll give you the information, let you know the type of information they're going to pull. So it won't be a surprise. It will be, okay, this is the type of information we're looking for, that you can already have it prepared. Like for us, whenever we are preparing for audit, we use banker boxes, and we already have everything like already in the box. The audit is not about you having to go find a document. It's about you having the document in your possession and being able to show it. All right. So heads up on that. Also, we mentioned to you about the U.S. Black Chamber of Commerce and American Express joining together for a Buy Black experience, and you can get registered. And a lot of times these resources are out there and we don't participate. I don't know why. So I'm trying to make sure you know the information so that you can be in the seat of the successful. All right. So go get certified. If you are an African-American owned business, go get certified. They have resources and tools, and it's a whole network, and you should go participate. And it's free. All right. Okay, so those are just reminders. Now, for this week, I want to share with you all a new business better tip. Okay, so talking about resources, networking, information, things that you can be connected to. All right. Once again, this one is for African American and Latinx entrepreneurs. So if that is not you, share it with someone else. Don't be jealous. Don't hate. Share. Okay. So if you are an African American or Latinx entrepreneur, Facebook has joined with Meta Elevate, and they have a whole new program, right? And it's called Facebook Elevate. And they're going to give 10,000, make sure I get that correct, 10,000 entrepreneurs. It's resources, it's digital certifications, especially if you're interested in digital marketing, then they have all these trainings that you can participate in. You will actually receive certification. It's a scholarship program. So you register as an African American or Latinx entrepreneur, you get the certification, you get a claim number, a voucher number, you go into the system, and then it's boom, boom, boom. There it is. All the information you need, the classes are there, and they've even done the networking for you. So if you're someone who is actually looking for employment, you're not an entrepreneur, you're an African American or Latinx individual, Latino individual, and you're going, okay, I'm looking for a new career. Everything is technology, right? Everything is online. Everything is on your computer, on your tablet, on your phone. That's where life is happening now. And you're like, I need to find a new career. That's another way for you to go, because if you do the program, you certify, you do the program, they actually have connections to companies that are already looking to hire people who have these certifications, right? So once again, that's facebook.com/FB Elevate. So once again, we're talking about business better here at WorkHARDaholics. We want you to have the tools so that you can do just that. Do business better. All right. So hopefully you all will look into that. And on that note, if you haven't gathered yet, our theme for today is level up, level up, level up, level up, level up. All right. And so, and that's the elevate with Facebook. See, we're getting there. But also, level up, it's really a colloquialisms kind of slang, right? It's made popular by the song by Sierra. But in general, people know level up in different ways, right? So, most of us, if you think about like me, the first time I ever heard level up was related to like Mario Brothers. It was a game. If you were a gamer, you were trying to go from one level to the next level, and there are all these keys and clues and things you have to do, and you have to master the game to understand more. And oftentimes you meet with your community to say, what's the key? What's the cheat code? How do I get from this level to the next level? Now we have expanded the meaning and understanding of level up, right? So now level up means just that, to go to a higher level. Right, that seems simple enough, right? I'm going to another level. That's what we're talking about now, right? So 2021, let's start with 2020 because it was a doozy. All right. So 2020, you were here, right? And so if you're going to level up, 2021 shouldn't have been here. And God forbid it shouldn't have been here, right? If you're really leveling up and you're measuring that, then 2021 should at least be here. And 2022 can be whoop or here, but level up means just that. You're constantly moving from where you are to the next level of greatness, to the next step in the process. We're not going back. We're not going to sit here, especially as 2022 is approaching, and only focus on all the negative stuff that happened in 2020, because if where you focus is where you go, right? So I think about it. I played softball for years as an adult. I didn't know how to play when I was young. So when I was older, my church has a softball team. I learned to play softball. One of the things that they taught you, or they taught me in particular, was that when you are throwing the softball, when you're throwing the ball, right? If you've ever noticed, you see the pitchers like extend their hand and then throw, that is to set the level of where they want to go, right? So if you are arm over here, then you're going to throw in the direction of your arm, right? So as we're talking about leveling up, you have to get your focus, align yourself to where you want to go, and then give it the hardest pitch that you can. So now we've talked video games and softball. What else will we do? We're going to level up. That's the whole point. All right? So I want you all to keep that in mind, especially as we're approaching the new year and we're talking about leveling up, that you can't keep your focus on, like, once again, my focus can't be on what was bad. And frankly, your focus can't be on what's behind you. If you're going forward, looking back, you're going to trip. You'll never get it together. Right? And we want more for you. In 2022, we want more for you. Yep, that rhymes. Okay, so once again, our theme for today is level up. It's also our word for the week. All right, so actually on that note, I want to check in now with our Socialita business check-in. During this time, we like to give a shout out to local businesses or businesses that we are affiliated with or businesses that we just see doing amazing things. So we like to take an opportunity to say, hey there, give you a little shout out from WorkHARDaholics. And we normally do it with our social media maven, Socialita Cristina. And so that's what we're going to do now. And so if you're a business owner and you want to receive a shout out, drop us a line, DM us, send us some information. Let us know more about you and what you do, because we love to support our small business owners.
This point in the WorkHARDaholics podcast, we talk about small businesses in the area that are doing amazing things, and we just want to give them a shout out. So today, I wanted to shout out first, Second Chance Consulting with Shirley Crawford. If you or someone else that you know, you're starting a business, you need help with your business, you could be a seasoned business owner, but that doesn't mean that you don't need help, okay? Check out Business Consulting Shirley Crawford with Second Chance Consulting. The next business is, of course, Socialita. If you or someone you know need help with your social media management, check us out. We also offer services such as newsletter campaigns and influencer marketing. So again, like, do not waste your time, trying to do all of your social media, all of your business stuff yourself. Let us help you. Check out socialitharva.com. All right. The next business is the Imagine Media Lab. They are hosting this amazing podcast. So if you're looking to, put yourself out there and have a podcast, make sure that you check out Imagine Media Lab. They also offer services such as videography. So we all know that we need promo videos, again, to get ourselves out there, branding and for our Facebook ads. Check them out so that they can help you. Last but not least, I want to send a special shout out to Triversa Bags, okay, with Reba Hollingsworth. You know what? It's a new year. You need a new bag, okay? Something that can house all of your items, because as women, oh my goodness, we carry everything, okay? Goodness, I would carry my head if it wasn't on my shoulders. It would be right in my bag, okay? All right. So make sure that you check out Triversa Bags. They are on Instagram and on Facebook. It's vegan leather. They have cognac and black in their colors. They have, let me see what else. It's an adjustable strap, because if you're like short like I am, listen, I don't need a bag all the way to the floor. I need to adjust that. You can also wear it three ways, hence the name Triversa. You can do like a crossbody, you can do a shoulder bag, and you can do a backpack. And that is amazing. We all need something that's like versatile, okay? All right, guys, that is it for the business check-in, and thank you all for tuning in. Bye.
Hmm. I was just asking Christina with a C, what exactly is vegan leather? I'm gonna have to go touch one of the Triversa bags so I can figure out what that is. That's all. These are the things we contemplate when you all aren't with us here in the studio. Like vegan leather for the Triversa bag. Hmm. Because leather is cowhide. So vegan leather is faux leather that feels like leather, but it's made out of. I am fascinated, Reba Hollingsworth. I must know about the Triversa bag. Like, I'm gonna have to go touch a bag. I've seen the pictures. I haven't touched the bag yet, though. Okay, and of course now, sorry, a word from our sponsors. Ladies, are you looking to move your office from your kitchen table to a space of your own? Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Are you looking for co-working and community? Well, then come join us at the Women's Business Center, RVA, located at 1510 Willow Lawn Drive, Suite 100, directly across the street from the Kroger at Willow Lawn. Visit us on the web at wbcrva.com or on social media at WBCRVA. When you're ready for more than just office space, come join the WBCRVA family. Alrighty then, once again, thank you to all of our sponsors, and if you too would like to be a sponsor, just drop us a line at admin@workhardaholics.com. Alrighty then, so, as I've already mentioned, our theme for this week is level up, level up, level up, level up, level up. I don't know any other words to that whole song, but I always feel that part, like right here, like, yes, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And that's what we want you all to feel as well, which is why our word for the week is indeed level up. And we also shared with you about the Facebook Elevate program, talking about leveling up, get some more skills, get some more tools, get some more resources, certify yourself as an African American or Latinx entrepreneur on Facebook Elevate program. And that way you can move yourself, you can level up. All right. So on that note, we turn to our time tool technique for the week. And so, as we've already expressed, this week our focus is on leveling up, right? We know that the new year begins this weekend, which is crazy. But what are you going to do with it? So, as we talk about leveling up or improving how we do things so that we can be more efficient, I was thinking about cheat codes, right? Because as I mentioned before, when you talk about leveling up, I always first think about like Mario games, Mario Brothers, like video games. Like, how do you go from one level to the next level to the next level to the next level? It's always where I start. And so, with that in mind, for video games, there are always cheat codes. Right? I mean, you can go to the library, you can go to the bookstore, you can go to Amazon, and they have books that you can buy just on cheat codes for your favorite video game. I don't actually play video games, really, per se, but this I know. And so with that in mind, I kept thinking, how interesting would it be if life had cheat codes? Right? And so in part it does. And so if you work for a company, that's what SOPs are for. So your standards of operation procedure, that's what it's for. It's saying, hey, this is what you need to know about how we do this. This is how you do. Like, I remember when I worked at GE, for the people who were in the same role as me, we actually came together each month and had sessions about basically cheat codes. So this is how I handle this. This is how I do this. I learned more from those sessions than I did in my entire college education and in lots of other trainings that I've had. And so, like, here's something I learned which I would have never thought about before. So when I worked at GE, we constantly came in contact with all of the senior vice presidents across the country who would come together for these quarterly meetings. And if you can imagine walking into a room and, let's say, I don't know, President Obama comes in and you don't know who it is, and so you treat him like he's a regular person, and like that kind of has an impact on your future at wherever company you're participating in. So I always wonder how everyone always remembered all these people's names. Like, how? Right? And so one of their cheat codes is they normally have cheat sheets. Right? And so they have books, first and foremost, that they study before each event with the picture of the person, information about them, their divisions, their rise to fame, like their kids, like all kinds of information. And they just have it in a book. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so brilliant. And then they have a smaller sheet, 8.5 by 11, which they keep by like registration. And so when people are coming in, they can actually look and say, oh, that's so-and-so, that's so-and-so. And they tag them mentally. I'm like, oh my God, what an amazing cheat. Would have never thought about it on my own. So in this case, when I was thinking about cheat codes for life, I actually found that BuzzFeed, thank you BuzzFeed, actually had already done some of it. They asked people to share their life cheat codes. Right? And so I shared a couple of them. I shared several of them. Several is 3 or more. A couple is only 2. So I shared several of them. And I always wonder why several didn't mean 7. But anyway, I shared several of them on the screen with you. And I kind of like to pull out the ones that are general things that I live by. But there was an amazing list. And the list got so much of a response that they actually did a follow-up to it with more cheat codes for life. All right. And so one of my favorites, if you're out at a restaurant, you're having dinner, people always will complain. How often do you compliment? So I'm a big fan of, if you're at the restaurant and everything was lovely, I will ask for the manager. That's my thing. I will ask for the manager and tell them about my server, the person who I work with, the rep that I use at the store, whomever that person that worked with me, if they did an amazing job, I think it's my job to tell the manager so-and-so was amazing. Right? And so it's harder for me, I admit, when I have to write it out because that takes too much time. But if I can find the manager, point the person out, give them a compliment, and leave, I don't want the person coming back to me going, oh, thank you. Nope, that's not what I did it for. I need your manager to know that you did an amazing job and you should be credited with it. So in my mind's eye, why it's a perfect cheat code is because if you're upset, you tell everybody. But when people are great, you never say anything. And I think it should be the reverse. So I love that that was on BuzzFeed's list. Another, the one under it I thought was kind of interesting because I had to really think about it. And it said, compliment your children with, you are a hard worker rather than you're smart. And I was like, but why? And apparently, like, when you read the article, they get into it a lot more than what I'm doing now. It's because well, it's just the psychology of it, right? So you're smart almost implies that genetically that's who you are. So if you get to a point where you just feel lost and you don't know what you're doing, then how does smart kick in? Like, either you understand or you don't. But you are a hard worker means that if there's a challenge, you're prepared for the task. Like, you're up for it. You can handle it. You're a hard worker. So I was like, I'm going to be thinking about that one when I start complimenting my nieces and nephews and great nieces and great nephews. I'll be thinking about that one. This one is one that I most definitely learned, especially when I was getting in for my MBA program. You can borrow almost all of your textbooks at the library. Did you all know that? That is so legit to me. So that when I was getting when I was in the MBA program, when you think that a textbook is $200 or more, I love when people are like, oh, I'm gonna spend $50 for my textbook. Did you really? Because especially for the MBA program, $200 seems like a good average for the cost of a textbook. But here's the thing. Most of the libraries actually have your textbook there. And you can't check it out and take it home. So it's normally in the resource section of your library. You can ask for your textbook. You can normally check it out for like 2 hours at a time. But how many of you are studying one textbook more than 2 hours anyway? All right. So that was a lovely cheat sheet for you, those of you who are in school. Another one that they shared was investing money is ridiculously underrated. It's so true. There are dividend ETFs that will pay you a monthly dividend, and let alone talk about drips. And there's so many options of investing. I am still trying to I have to take some time. I understand that it takes time to do the research, but we're talking about your future, your legacy, your business success. So it's worth the effort to know and understand the difference of interest, right? To understand investment options. You get a windfall. You had a really good season, and so money is coming in. Do you take the money and immediately spend it? Do you invest it back in the business? Do you get a mutual fund? What do you do with the money? And there are short-term and long-term investment possibilities, which means that if you can put the money away and not touch it for 6 months, you can earn interest. Or there are just so many options. I mentioned drips. And those are stock options that you can purchase that it actually pays you a dividend. It's actually paying you money every quarter, every year, and all you're doing, it basically sits there and it keeps accumulating, and you're getting money off of it, right? There's so many investment options, but we are so ignorant about what they are. And the thing is, if you don't know and you don't know how, then find someone who does. Join an investment club. There are groups. There are, sign up for your Robinhood account. There are so many options of things that you could be doing. But if you think you can become a millionaire generally from being an employee and having nothing external than your paycheck, it's actually almost impossible. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's actually almost impossible. possible. So even if you're making $60,000 a year, how much of that are you spending? Well, let's just say, even if you're making $100,000 a year, how much of that are you spending for your day-to-day expenses? So the idea of investing, of creating a flow of income is vital. Anyway, that was part of their cheat codes. And here is my favorite. They had a much longer list. I just selected several of them, but their list was much longer. And as I repeat, as I said before, they actually had a follow-up to this article as well. So you can go over to BuzzFeed. Hannah Lowenthal is the staff writer, and you can go see the rest of them. But this one is, they call it a cheat code, but it's my motto for life. They say underpromise and overperform. I always say underpromise and overdeliver. This is my motto for life. I firmly believe it's the reason that I have been successful as an employee. I firmly believe it's why I've been successful as an entrepreneur, right? I firmly believe it's why I've been successful in my leadership roles in the community and elsewhere. Because here's the thing. So, let's just say we have a project that's due, right? And so the project is 10 pages that'll be due, or whatever the case may be. I always will say, okay, well, even if I think in my mind I can do that in 3 days, I am going to say, okay, I will do my best to complete this, this, and this out of that task. I'll have it to you in a week. So then if someone thinks that that's acceptable as far as a demand on me, and not only do I do that, but I do it quicker and better. So instead of just doing the 3 things I said I would be able to do, I do 7 of the things that were on the list, and I give it to them in 3 days versus 7 days. That means I underpromised. I overdelivered. I did what they wanted and more. And that has gotten me so very far in life. And so I always caution entrepreneurs about this desire to please. And so we have a potential client. The potential client says, okay, I need these 5 items. And the thing is, a lot of times we do tasks for clients that have nothing to do with our business. And so pushback is okay. It's okay to push back and say, oh, I perform these services. I don't do this, I don't do that. If you want this and that, I can help you. I can subcontract out to someone else, or I can do something else, but this is what I'm going to do. And a lot of times I recognize with clients and people in general, they want what they want and they want it now. It's like Willy Wonka. Don't care how, I want it now, right? There's a lot of that mentality out there, but you don't have to accept it. Just because it exists doesn't mean it has to be your philosophy as well. So when people come to me and they're like, oh, well, I want this, I need this right now, I will happily say, honestly say, I'm not always happy about it. I'll honestly say, that's not a realistic expectation. So I want the contract, I want the job, I want the relationship. But here's the thing. If you make promises that you can't keep, you're already damaging the relationship and you won't get a second chance. So you may as well just be honest from the beginning. So like a lot of times, like a celebrity or someone who's really well known, and you just really want their business. And so you're like, oh, this is great. But if it's going to cost you everything, it's not worth it. So that's why we always talk about underpromise, overdeliver. And your procrastination is not my emergency. It just isn't. And so we try to accommodate, we try to be helpful, but when you start allowing yourself to get so wrapped up in other people's stuff, you will lose sight of what you're doing, who you are, and what you're supposed to be accomplishing. And you'll end up damaging your reputation in the end. So once again, I thought that was an amazing cheat code. And that one in particular is one that I live by. Underpromise, overdeliver. Okay, so as we're talking about leveling up, our book it moment for this week is, of course, level up. Level up your self-discipline by, forgive me if I don't say the name correctly, Som Bathala. And so it's understand the neuroscience of self-discipline. Control your emotions, overcome procrastination, and achieve your difficult goals. So as we're talking about leveling up, a lot of times the biggest hindrance in our lives is us, right? We are afraid of success. We doubt ourselves. We don't think our capabilities are there. We self-sabotage. We surround ourselves with people who doubt so that we can feel comfortable in our mediocrity. And so a lot of times we have to fight with ourselves. So I thought this was an excellent book selection for you to learn some of the tips and tools to not allow you to block you from your success. If you think about in your life something that you've looked to accomplish, right? So I think about the fact that before 2020, one of my goals that had stayed on my list, like I always do my top 15. If you've been to my vision board events, you know what that is. I have my top 15, and one item that has been on there or had been on there for years was to write a book. And so, to publish a book. I've written books before, but they were always attached to a seminar or a workshop, something that I was doing, and they were made available to the people who were in the class or the company that I was doing the work for. But it wasn't just generally available to the general public. And so I had on my list of goals that I had to have publish a book by my 50th birthday. Whew, yeah. And so I kept getting in my own way. And that's what we do, right? We constantly block ourselves. So I utilize my tools of getting goals done and getting things met and was able to accomplish that goal. I literally published it at 11:48 p.m. Before my 50th birthday. And now I have several. So that's what you're looking for. We want you to level up. There are things that you are meant to accomplish. And the other side of that I often like to share is that a lot of times we don't recognize that our procrastination, our lack of ability to get it done, is holding up someone else who's waiting for your greatness. There's someone who is the audience to your book, to your message, to your podcast, to your vlog, to your blog, to your teaching, to your seminar. But if you're not out there giving it to them and they're waiting for it, it's really selfish on your part. If you have what someone needs and you know you're supposed to give it, then why are you holding on to it? Just saying. Time to level up, people. Level up your self-discipline. That's the book we wanted to share this week for our Book It moment as we level up. Okay. So for those of you going, surely that sounds great. You're lecturing me, but you haven't told me any way that I can really level up. Right? I did share with you the book that you can level up for self-discipline. That's going to help. But I also wanted to share some strategies for leveling up. And these come from it's an article on Medium. It's called Level Up in Life by Treating It Like a Game. See, I'm telling you, we got a theme all the way through here. I cannot pronounce the name of the individual. It's on the screen. We thank you for your contribution to Medium so that we can share this information. Okay, so we talk about choosing a strategy for leveling up. And I really did like these tips. I thought they were very appropriate. They're bite-sized so that you can actually chew it, masticate it, ruminate it, understand it, regurgitate it, and put it into action. Okay? So the first one was focus on one thing. Choose one thing. And so I know as an entrepreneur, like every time I have a consultation with an entrepreneur, they're like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And that's beautiful. If you are an entrepreneur and you don't have 10 ideas in your mind, I would say you're probably not an entrepreneur. It's normal to have like all kinds of ideas, but you have to focus on one. Even if you just focus on that one for 30 minutes and then move on to the next one, you have to start somewhere, right? So choose the thing you want to accomplish. Of course, there are more than one, but if you can focus on one, you can get that done. Then you can level up, focus on another. You can level up, focus on another. And you're building these blocks of success, even failures, things that you can learn from as you continue to go and to continue to grow. The next one is define resources. So here's the thing for me, right? I am an introvert. I'm private. I'm recognizing I'm a little bit prideful. Like, I don't always like to ask for help. And so if you're one of those people who's like, oh, well, you don't have to do that for me, a lot of times that's pride. It's not that you're always going, oh, well, you don't have to do it for me, or you don't have to think about me, or it's not that serious. Why not? If someone is there, wants to help, and is willing to help, then why won't you let them? Like, what reason could you logically have not to let them help you unless they're incompetent? Like, really? So with that in mind, define your resources, right? So here's the thing. Like right now, we're getting ready to make some changes to the show, right? And so I'm turning to my resources. I sat down with Christina with a C, our producer here at the Imagine Media Lab. I'm like, Christina, I want to do this. What do you think about that? What's your feedback on that? What do you think is going on here? I have asked some people who watch the show. Oh, I'm thinking about this. Do you like this? What do you think about that? And then we're looking at our other resources, right? And so like even now, general resources, we keep talking about it. I'm looking for a good lighting person. Is that you? We're looking for you. Right? And so because even beyond the show, like I've talked about the fact that I really want my church to have really good lighting, and it's not working out right now. So those are resources. Like figure out what you need. So when you know what it is you're trying to do, right? So let's say you're focusing on that one thing. You're focused on that one thing, right? And then you look at that one thing, you're like, okay, well, this is the part that I know. This is the part that I can do. What do I need to get to the next part? So I always say you don't know what you don't know, right? And so like even now, I'm very focused. Like my thing right now that I'm focused on, that I'm really focused on, I have lots of things, but the thing right now that is my main focus is to increase our YouTube subscribers. Thank you to all who have subscribed. Please like, share, repeat, subscribe. I have been watching so many videos. I love YouTube as a resource. I have watched so many other business gurus, YouTube influencers to learn about, like, I want to know what tools are they using, right? So I watched a young lady the other day, and I forget her name. I watch her all the time. I still don't remember her name, but I support her. I subscribe. And she was talking about Capterra. She was talking about, she doesn't use vidIQ. She uses TubeBuddy. And then, what was the other one? I forget. I have it on my, but that's what I'm looking at someone for a resource. I want to know what are the tools that they are using, right? So tap into your resources. Figure out what tools are they using, how are they doing it, how are they making it happen? Are they recording it live? What tools are they using to edit with? What are they using for sound? And a lot of times, those people, they'll share with you, like, what kind of camera is Christina using over here? Like, all that kind of information and stuff that you want to be, looking up, understanding the tools that you need to be successful. And if you don't know, then follow someone who does and learn the way. Like, I know at this point I'm a mentor for a lot of people, but every now and again, I'm the intern, I'm the mentee, and that's okay. All right. And then the next step for the strategies for leveling up is simplify the system. When I used to do basic programming, there is the phrase that they use is KISS, which sounds really sweet, but it's not. It's keep it simple, stupid, is what it stands for. We make things unnecessarily complicated. And then we are caught up in the system rather than the outcome. So it's like, oh, well, in order to do the show, we have to have this speaker, and we have to have this monitor, and we have to have, really at the heart of it, we can have the show and have far less. So rather than stress yourselves out so that you don't do the show even if it's subpar. I know, Christina, that's not what you want. That's not what we want to see happen. But it's better to have done than to do nothing. And a lot of people think, oh no, everything has to be perfect. And there is no such thing. I mean, they're just, perfect doesn't exist. Perfection is my enemy. Still my favorite quote, or one of them, right? Get it done. And like every person that I've seen, I tell you, I'm watching all these videos. They all talk about they got started. Y'all know that's one of my favorite phrases. Just get started. You can always get better. And so, like, I've watched a lot of the, especially the YouTubers talk about, like, their first video, and they've been showing it, and how ridiculous it looks, and how bad the background, and you get started. So if you're leveling up, you have to have a foundation. You have to start somewhere. You'll level up, you'll keep improving, you'll keep improving, you'll keep improving. Every once in a while, you might fall down a step, you might backslide a little bit, pick yourself back up, keep it moving, level up. All right. But as you're doing it, keep an understanding of the basics. Like, remember the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. I heard somebody modify it and give the S another meaning, but I learned it how I learned it. It's like WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. So that's how I operate. And so stop making it so complicated that you are stressed and not getting it accomplished. Right? Simplify the system. Okay. And then the next strategy they offer for leveling up is focus on the compound effect. So just like what I was talking about for simplifying the system, don't spend your time focusing on every little minor detail. So I can be just as anal as the next person, but if that's all I'm caught up in, then I'm missing the point. What's the end result supposed to be? Right? It's like a lot of times when you are looking for motivation is hard to find when you are focused on step 1, step 2, step 3. But when I sit back and say the end goal is, like I said before, getting it was that end goal, but it's a really further end goal. My real end goal is to influence and impact entrepreneurs and potential entrepreneurs worldwide to have a life that is not dependent on government or corporate America for success and happiness. That's my end goal. That's my end goal. So when I'm here at the center and I'm tired, or like right now, my office is a hurricane, or if someone's pulling on me or needing something, or I have to stay up late so that I can finish writing this journal entry, or I have to meet with a client on a Sunday, or whatever it is, right? Whatever it is, the reason that I can do it 80% of the time with a smile is because my end goal is so much bigger than this point in time. That compound effect, to know that one day my efforts will mean that women in Haiti will have skills and resources to be self-supporting. Like, woo! That's what I'm talking about, right? So that, you know, there is a young lady in South Africa who's going to have skills and networking and abilities, or that because I have a very large desire to go speak in Paris. It's like on my vision board for this year. And so to know that there will be some little French kid who started a multi-million-dollar business from sitting in a seminar with me, like, that's bigger than this moment. It just is. And so when what you're looking for is that compound effect, so I do this, it causes this, I do this, all these things happen, and the end result is worldwide impact. in the lives of people that I might not ever meet directly. It makes it worth it. It makes everything that I have to go through and deal with and be a part of that I may or may not want to, or have people who try to talk down to me, or put me in a box because I'm a woman or because I'm African American. Any of these things, it doesn't matter, because the end result is amazing. And those books and everything else are all a part of that legacy. What is that for you? Right? Like, I can feel myself. I feel it in my heart when I talk about that's my passion point. And so when I'm living for that passion, when I'm living for that compound effect, it's just bigger. It's bigger than the parts. The end result, the sum is bigger than its parts. And then number 5, and the strategy for leveling up is evaluate and improve. Right? So when you talk about leveling up in life by treating it like a game, right? So for those of you who don't play a lot of games, I like Miss Pac-Man. That's probably the only game that I ever want to sit around and play. Whatever the game may be, especially video games, right? You learn from the level you're on. The next level is always going to be more challenging. So I got to play Miss Pac-Man over Thanksgiving because my sister and brother-in-law have a Miss Pac-Man arcade game in their basement. Love it. And so on that first level, where you first interact with the ghost and you first learn about the power chip. I don't even know what it's called. See, I'm not really a gamer. Or each level gives you a different reward, right? So on one level, it might be a banana, it might be a pretzel, it might be a strawberry, and each one brings a different level of just strategy necessary. It gets more complicated as you go on, but because of what you learned the level before, you now take that skill set, right? So, and you take it to your next level. So you don't start your new level from scratch. You start with the understanding of what you have from what you did before. But if you don't stop and think about it, like if all you're doing is rushing and running from one thing to the next thing, and you're not evaluating, then how do you know what went right, what went wrong, why it went right, why it went wrong? Like right now, we're about to start gearing up for the Empower Conference for 2022. Empower Conference 2022. And so even now, we have to keep discussing like what went right, what went wrong, what did we like, what didn't we like, what can we do better, what can we improve. And so that's how you keep leveling up. And as we've already said, that's what we want for you. We want you all to continue to level up. So when we talk about that, work hard, play harder, then I think it's a great example that we're using. This article from medium.com, Level Up in Life by Treating It Like a Game, and the 5 strategies that they offer, once again, in totality, for leveling up. Choose one main thing that you want to accomplish. Define your resources. Simplify the system. I will say once again, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. 4, focus on the compound effect. And 5, evaluate and improve based on that evaluation. So with that in mind, once again, I'd love to ask you all to, once again, please like, share, subscribe, repeat, like, share, subscribe, repeat, like, share, subscribe, repeat. All right? Especially on our YouTube channel. So I really want to change the URL to say WorkHARDaholics. Before that, we need 100 subscribers, and we're halfway there. Thank you for all you who have subscribed to our YouTube channel. For those of you who have not, please go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Right now, of course, as I've mentioned, this weekend is Saturday. So Friday night, you're all going to be celebrating your New Year's Eve. And Saturday will start a new year. My hope and desire for you all is that January 1st won't just be another day, that 2022 won't just be another year, but that you will indeed level up, level up, level up, level up, level up, that you will indeed progress, that you will take the time to evaluate what you've done, compare it to your actual goal, compare it to what you wanted to do. What did you start the year thinking you were going to accomplish? And I don't mean resolutions, I mean be resolute. So making a decision even now to say, these are the things, think of the 5 things you want to accomplish in 2022. 5 things that you want to accomplish in 2022. Then focus one by one until the job is done. Right? So all these tools that we talked to you about leveling up, that's what we want for you. So focus on one of the 5 and get it done. Figure out the resources. Figure out what's the impact going to be from that. Simplify the process. So we gave you all those strategies for leveling up. We want to see you put those in place. Stop procrastinating. And if you need to, feel free to pick up that book that we mentioned in our Book It moment. Level up your self-discipline. Right? Don't allow you to get in the way of your success. That's what we want for you. And if you need help with that business success, feel free to give us a call over here at the Women's Business Center, RVA, over here 1510 Willow Drive, directly across the street from the Kroger at Willow. We offer 1 free consultation, and that could be for you, for your business. Be it a business idea or you've been in business for years and you're looking to level up and you want a second opinion. All right, so once again, thank you to the Imagine Media Lab and our producer, Christina, who keeps us on the air and keeps us going. All right, so we're going to be saying bye-bye for now. But as we always say, live better, do better, be better, and happy entrepreneuring. Ta-ta!
Let Socialita help your business stand out from the crowd by building your brand success through social media management. We're located at 1510 Willow Drive, Suite 100. Our website is www.socialitarva.com. You can also give us a call at 804-484-2001. Again, Socialita.
Imagine Media Lab, in partnership with the Women's Business Center, offers hourly rental to a multimedia studio. Create or edit digital assets for marketing. Record that podcast you've always wanted to start. Voiceovers and live stream. All equipment and software is included in your hourly rental. Located at the Women's Business Center, 1510 Willow Lawn Drive, Suite 100. ImagineMediaLabs.com. Book your session today.